Hello, my YouTube friends. I want to welcome you to this exciting lesson where I'm going to talk about how you can start your project in Revit, export it to Advanced Steel, do the production of the assembly drawings, the single part drawings, the bill of materials, and also bring back the model to Revit if that's what you want to do. Now, you see that this is the model that we'll be working with. In this lesson, I'm not going to teach you on how to create, to model or to create connections. If you want to learn that, make sure that you check the videos on my channel on Revit and also Advanced Steel. So you see that we have this model. If I go to Advanced Steel, this is the exact same model with all the members and the properties and the connection exactly the way they are in Revit. So this is what I want to show you. So let me go back to Revit, and I just want to mention that if you like what I'm doing on this channel, make sure that you like my video, subscribe to my channel, and share with your friends. So without wasting time, let's get started in this lesson. Now, before I proceed, I just want to ask anyone who is interested in joining me in a course like in Revit Architecture, Revit Structure, and Robot Structural Analysis Professional, please check the links in the description. Now, before I proceed, I just want to answer one question in advance. Someone may ask that, why do I have to, to export to Advanced Steel when I know Revit? The short answer is that the production of assembly drawings, single part drawings, and bill of materials is easy and fast and is automated in Advanced Steel. But that doesn't mean that you can't do it in Revit, but here is very, very advanced, and I encourage you to learn Advanced Steel, especially if you deal with structural steel projects. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'll simply delete this one, okay? I'll just delete from there, click on No, and I'll go back to Revit. And as I've mentioned, I'm not teaching you how to model, but to just show you the entire process on how to export, back and forth from one software to the other. So you can see that this is the model that I have, and make sure that you save it before you do anything. Just click on save there, as you can see. Now you need to have an add-in called Advanced Steel Extension, and you can get this one from your Autodesk account, install it, and you are going to have this one appearing here. The first thing that you need to do is to simply click there and go to the settings and just counter check the settings. I'm just going to check export grids, ignore beam cutbacks, and also disable the join for the beams on import, and click on OK. All right, then I'll go back once again there and click on export. All right, then make sure that you pick advanced export, and you can pick the library of your choice from there, then click on OK. Then I'll just go back, and I want to save it in a different folder, and I'll go to this folder here. There's nothing here. Make sure that your file format should be SMLX, and I'll call it Revit, maybe to advance. Okay, that is how I want to save this file, because this is the one which will be read in Advanced Steel. Then click on save. Once you do that, you just need to go to Advanced Steel now. So I'll go back to Advanced Steel and start a new project there. And you have to make sure that you use the same version of Revit as Advanced Steel. If you're using 2024, you can see that I'm using 2024 for both Revit and Advanced Steel. You can see that it's open here. Again, there's a plugin still for exporting from Advanced Steel to Revit. Get it from your Autodesk account. And once you are here, you just need to click on import. And you need now to pick the one that you saved, Revit to Advanced Steel, select on it, and click on open. You see it's very fast, and just double click the wheel on your mouse like that. All right, then you see that we have this model with the grids as I specified. You can see that we have the connections, they are in here, the base plate, and all these members. If you want to counter check if these are the same sizes, you can I can click on that. We have this one 305, 10225. I can go to Advanced Steel, double click on that one. You see that it's exactly the same members. I can check this connection by clicking there, right click, Advanced Joint Properties, and you see that. Let me go to base plate there. You see the thickness is there, it's 25, and I can even check these anchors and holes, US normal anchors. Let me just close this one, counter check from Revit, so that you believe that everything is the same as in Revit. So I'll select on that, click on edit, and if I just click on edit, this is Revit. And you see that if I just go to, I think I can go to anchors and holes, US, normal anchors is still the same. And you can counter check all those. All right. You see we have 25 millimeter as the thickness. So I'll close this one and close this one. Now, let me make some changes in advance still, assuming that, as I mentioned, you may want to do maybe certain complicated connections here. And also maybe you want to make some modifications while in advance still there's a revision. Now, after you make all those changes and also produce all your drawings, you just want maybe to export this entire model to Revit, maybe for collaboration with architects, you know, MEP guys and others, because Revit is a BIM software. So I want to take it back there for collaboration. So this is what you need to do. So first of all, let me change to conceptual and let me just make those changes so that we see how you can take it back to Revit with all those changes. I'll start with this one and I just want to make a change here. Maybe I'll just double click on this and I'll go to maybe base plate and I'll go to anchors and hose. I'll change this one to a different one, maybe the holding down bolts, as you can see from here. And I just want to pick maybe 20, all right, and change this one to 8.8. And I think I'll leave everything maybe the way it is. Then I'll just click on close. So I've changed this one to those holding down bolts. Maybe let me also change this member. Maybe just want to change the size. This is 305. Let me change to 254. As you can see from there, I'll never mind about the material. I'll just close it. Then the other thing, let me add one member here. All right. So if I just click on objects, and I'll click on that one there, that option, and I just want to add the member from this point up to maybe up to that point. Right click, and I just want to check the member to change it maybe to a different one, like maybe 127, just like that, and close it. So these are the only changes that I've made. Now the assumption is that, assuming that you have done a number of changes or the drawings are produced, you have added more connections here. By the way, these connections can be found under the connection vault. We have so many connections here, different ones. Most of them, some of them actually are not even found in Revit. And I just want to mention that all these connections, the interface for these connections is the same as in Revit. So if you know how to use the connections in Revit in advance, still the same, but we have many connections which are here in advance still than in Revit. So you can do that. You can create those connections here. If maybe you can't find them in Revit, or it's difficult for you to create them in Revit, you can do it here and take back the model there. So these are the only changes that I want to make. And what you need to do, make sure that you save this one. I'll go to there, save as a drawing. And I just want to go to make sure that you go to where you want to save it. Maybe I want to save it to the same folder. Maybe I'll call it Revit. Maybe, advanced still file. I'll call it AS file and click on save. Make sure that you save it. Once you do that, now you need to take it back to Revit. You just need to go to export. And first of all, you need to export the same file format. I'll call it AS file. I think it's okay, this same name, but this is a different file format, SMLX file, and click on save. Then the model might be saved to keep. Do you want to save the model? Yes. Okay, I've saved it. Let me export it once again. This is the one. Click on save. Yes, to just make sure that everything is saved. Then I'll go back to Revit now, and this time I have to synchronize so that those changes can come here. I just need to go there and click on synchronize. Right, once you have this box, make sure that you load what you saved. This is the one, AS file, and click on open. Right, you can see that we have appended, modified, deleted. Now the appended are the new members or any objects that you've added as new ones. The modified, for example, I changed that size, that is a modification, and deleted, if at all there's anything that is deleted in advance still, that will be captured by this one. So if I just go down, you see that we have the green one appended. I think I appended a beam and a plate. The deletion, I deleted a connection, I think, as I was changing it, and the connection is added as just a connection here. Now, I also changed some materials. If I want to bring back this material, it means that I'm going to affect the model here. Now, let me first of all not change the materials because I don't want to. What I'll do is to simply check what I want to change. For example, these like that. there's some connection which has been deleted. Okay, let me apply it also, although I'm not sure the ones that I've deleted. Okay, maybe let me deactivate it. Let me just apply these 3 and click on apply. All right, now we see that there's an application. You can see we have it there. Maybe we still have some more. Let me just add all these, even what has been deleted. Click on apply. Okay, for some reason, some of them are still remaining. Let me first of all cancel. And you can see that now. Let me check this member. Has this member been changed? Okay, this one is not changed for some reason. But the one that we added is right here. If I select on it, you can see that is the one we added. It wasn't there. And we can see that the base plate has been added and the member. Okay, now let me show you if you also want to change the material. I think that's why this one is also not changing. You can see it's still the same member. Let me change the materials. It will look dark like this one, but I can still change it within Revit. It's because the mapping, the materials in Advanced Steel and Revit is not properly mapped, so I can still change it from here. So I'll still go back here and click on Synchronize. Load it, pick this one. Click on open. This time I'll change everything including the materials. Maybe this one will also update. So I'll select everything here. Click on apply. Then let's see what we have here. Everything has changed. As you can see, it's changing in the background. The dark color is just the material which is coming from Advanced Steel. Okay, now those options downs which were remaining have disappeared. I'll click it there. Now, before I even check those members, let me just select everything here and let me change the materials to the one that I want to use here. All right, so I'll go down and go to the materials for steel, which is this one. Click OK, and you can see that now the correct material is there. I can go ahead and change all the materials for these if I want. I'll hold Control and just change the materials. Okay, I could have mapped it, but it's fine. You can do that. All right, just like that, and select all these so that I just, change the material. It's just showing. Or if I don't even want to do that, maybe I'm not just happy with the color, I can just select on it and what is the material and just go to that material, click there, and you can see that the graphics is just showing that it's black. I'll just click there, maybe just give it a gray there, click on apply. I think this is the easiest, and as you can see, everything is going to change. So you can change it or just change the color. Now, you see that if I just select on that, the 254 has been applied, the connection has changed, and everything, this member, I think I forgot to change the color also for this one. Oh, it's a different, material which has been brought here, so I can just change the color from there, and maybe let me pick the lighter one. This is the material that is using, apply OK, and you see that that is the member, it has been brought here. So apart from the colors, if I want, I can map the colors, but I think it's even easier to just change those. So this is how you export your model from Revit to Advanced Steel, and also vice versa. So make sure that you watch the other video lessons on Advanced Steel so that you learn on how to model, to create connections. I have a lot of lessons on Advanced Steel and Revit, and you are going to learn on how to create structural steel projects, modeling, and also addition of the connection. So see you in some upcoming lessons in future.